Hi, this is Venus DeMilo Thomas. You're listening to Deeper Than Music.
Deeper Than Music Radio. Behind every great song is a greater story.
Deeper Than Music. The core of you, the fans, the truth is deeper than music. Deeper than music. Simply the truth is the latest, the newest. It's deeper than music. Deeper than music. The core of you, the fans, the truth is deeper than music. Deeper than music. Simply the truth is the latest, the newest. It's deeper than music. Deeper than music.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Deeper Than Music. Behind every great song, there's even greater story. I'd like to say what's up to everybody listening to us on Amazon, Spotify, Spreaker, Geo7, and all the great platforms that are streaming Deeper Than Music. Like I said, we interview celebrities, we interview artists, we interview actors, comedians, and today we have a triple threat. And I'm actually glad that I get to interview this artist because one thing that's been heavy on my mind is creating generational wealth and then also being multifaceted and being an entrepreneur. So ladies and gentlemen, we have a hip hop recording artist, entrepreneur, singer, and songwriter. Originally from North Carolina, she is known as the Queen of North Carolina for her freestyle skills and overall talent. She's also successful in fashion and the hair business. She has a new single, Papi, which is creating a buzz, and so far it has 99,652 organic streams, probably more than that right now. Ladies and gentlemen, we have artist Jess Marie here on Deeper Than Music Radio. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing pretty good. And as you guys know, I used to be based Dallas, Southern Illinois, and now we're in Fayetteville, North Carolina. So it's good to reach out to an artist that's from North Carolina. So with that being said, my first question to you is, how would you describe the sound of North Carolina, and what is North Carolina bringing to hip hop? I'm gonna age myself right now because when I think of North Carolina, the Petey Pablo song for me comes up.
Yeah, so Petey Pablo and Sunshine Anderson, they kind of set, the tone for North Carolina, like back in, the day. But right now, I really don't feel like North Carolina has a specific sound because I feel like everybody that's from North Carolina has a different sound. Yeah. Like you got the Baby, you got Son of Vegas, you got J.Cole.
J.Cole, yep.
You got me. And I just don't think that any of us sound the same, So I would say we have a specific sound, but we each have our different sound that make up North Carolina as a whole.
Okay, yeah, you're right. Because one thing that I remind myself is that J. Cole is from Fayetteville. You got the Baby. So when did you fall in love with hip hop? When did you know that you wanted to be a hip hop artist? Was that at a young age? I guess this is my brown sugar question.
Well, I've grown up. I grew up around it. I was always around it as a kid because my parents were heavily involved in the music industry. My dad was the manager of Raheem Devine for quite some time. My dad was actually a rapper before he was managing. I mean, he wasn't a major artist, but he was a local artist, and then he just decided to pursue artist management. And my mom, she rapped back in her days. I mean, she wasn't really taking it too seriously. I honestly think my dad influenced her. But I've been around it. My two older brothers, they both are artists. They rap. So, I mean, I've always been around it.
Okay. And I heard you have a mad freestyle game. So, generally in hip hop, for the most part, we have our greats, which are women. It's a predominantly male space, but we have some women in the industry. As far as your top five, who are your top five artists, and who has influenced you as far as your artistry? What artists do you look up to?
Female wise or just in general?
Oh, just in general.
Oh, okay. So, you got Lauryn Hill.
Okay.
You got Nicki Minaj. You got Nas. You got Jay-Z. You said top five. The list goes on, but I got one more. And I'm gonna have to go with J. Cole.
Okay. Wow. And do you remember your first rap? It's just a random question.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't remember my first rap because I like when I started doing music, I was more of a singer. Like I did like melodic stuff, and then I realized like once I could write music that I could pretty much do anything with it. So I started off like singing melodic vibes, and then I crossed over into rap. So I don't even remember what my first rap was.
Wow. And you mentioned Lauryn Hill. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like the
Mhm.
song she dropped on Nas's King Disease, and then
Mhm.
also what was the another one? The Western movie I can't even remember the name, but her verses was just ridiculous. And I think her verse on Nobody, it just said
Mhm.
it all, because she
Mhm.
ain't been around in so long. So
Right.
what is your creative process? Like, does it start off with a beat, or do you just start off with the rhymes and then build the rhymes around the beat?
Mhm. So my creative process is a little different. Like oftentimes I'll start with my verses first and then create a hook around it because I like to make sure that like my verses like the song has a concept. I want to make sure it has a concept. So I start with my
Hmm.
verses and then I come up with a hook that like flows with what I'm talking about.
Hmm. Okay.
So
And cool. So it starts off with the verses, and then you just build the verse around the beat.
that.
Cool. So, can you explain the genesis of Jess Marie? Like, okay, I have an aspiration to be an artist.
Mhm.
Now you have this single that's popping. Like, what was the genesis? Like, how did everything lead up to this point?
Um, well, I kind of took a break from music like during the pandemic, and I just
Hmm.
was going through like obstacles in life, which made me take a break. And then I started really paying attention to like what was really going on the internet, like what's really trending on the internet. Like
Hmm.
I, I think like I can rap very well. I'm very skilled at rapping, but it's really not even about that anymore. It's just more so about like what the internet catches. So
Yeah.
the creative process behind my latest single, A Papi, it was like very like fun, nothing too serious, nothing too bar heavy. It was just, I had just wrapped up some songs that I was working on in the studio, and a producer by the name of 30 pulled up to the session and he started playing the beat. So
Hmm.
we was listening to A Poppy, and me and my team thought that that beat was so hard, and the sample in it is repeatedly saying A Poppy. So it just reminded me of the interview with Carisha and Diddy when he was like he was a 250K Poppy. So that's how I
Yeah.
started it off. So it was a fun song. That's kind of
Nice,
what
nice.
it came about.
And then now, it's creating such a buzz. And then I also want to talk about your entrepreneurship,
Hmm.
um, fashion and hair. So how did you? So obviously these are your passions, and I want to commend you about that too, because I
Thank you.
feel that, especially as us as a people, it's important that we embody being entrepreneurs, and then also creating generational wealth. And also, hip hop is a very powerful, wide world entity, and we need to leverage that. So I applaud you for that. So what started first, the fashion or the hair, and how did you get into it?
Um, I would pretty much say fashion. I mean, I've always like as a young kid, my mom always kept me dressed very nice. She always made sure I had like the flyest gear, whatever it was it
Hmm.
at that time. She always just made sure I was dressed in it, and as I got older, it was like it just became a habit that I ended up having from being a young child to an adult. And as far as the hair, I used to sell hair.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah, I used to sell bundles and units and stuff, but I kind of let that go just for the moment, just so I could focus on the music first. And then once I get to where I need to be with my music, I'm gonna bring my hair business back, my online clothing boutique that I have for women. I'm gonna bring all that back. It's gonna be a part of my rebranding process.
Okay, and then do you have any as far as fashion, and I'm gonna admit I'm not that heavy in the game as far as fashion, but do you have anybody that you look out to, or like anybody in the fashion game that you like, hey, this is somebody that I admired and been paying attention to?
Hmm. Who I really like that I think is very different and is not afraid to be herself when it comes to fashion is Tiana Taylor. I really, 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 really like what she does with the fashion stuff. It's not too much, but it's just enough, because honestly, fashion is a way for people to like express themselves.
Yeah. And I was gonna ask you, do you like, as far as with your music, photo shoots, video shoots, things of that nature, do you coordinate? Are you your fashionista, or do you have a team?
Yes, I am for now. I've worked with stylists in the past, but for the most part, it's always been me.
Okay.
Majority.
Gotcha. And then I also wanted to ask you, what has been so far in your career like a moment that you're like, wow, this is like, what is a top moment that you've experienced so far in your career?
Top moment that I've experienced so far in my career is doing HBCU homecomings. I've done a few. The biggest one that I did was Clark Atlanta, and just like a lot of people are scared of those like college crowds. So for me to go out there and be able to have crowd control, stage presence, and really get like a good response from them, and I walked around, met a lot of them, took pictures with them, got on their social media, that was like one of the dopest things. That was the first time I ever seen, because I think I opened up for a major artist, but it was the first time I ever seen myself on like the big screen in the back.
Oh, the Megatron. Okay.
Yeah. So.
And were you nervous doing the like just the crowd and all that? I was like, hey, I'm in my moment.
I was, and like right before going on stage, but I said something about their homecoming when I was walking on the stage, and I got such a good crowd response that I was like, okay, it's go time. I just need to get it out at that time.
And then I asked you like who inspires you, or your top 5. Who would you like to collaborate with? What would be a dream collaboration for you?
Ooh, okay, I have a few of those. But,
okay.
Dream collaboration would be Roddy Ricch, Nicki Minaj, J.Cole.
Okay.
Got a few. Megan Thee Stallion, Glorilla, and it's so many more I can name, but those are the first that come to mind right now.
Okay. And then I another question I like to ask is like a technology piece. So I'm gonna age myself again. So I started early in my hip hop career in the early 2000s. The internet wasn't really popping like that. You had to like physically sell CDs, and as things opened up, more opportunities became available, like music licensing, having music in indie films and things of that nature. The big push was the internet. But also with social media, there's a good and a bad, right? We have where artists are overexposed. Unfortunately, we have artists, rest in peace, Pop Smoke, people following his movements and things of that. How do you feel the internet? How do you feel with social media in your artistry? Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? And how do you mitigate that? Like just because I feel like there's a blur between, sometimes your persona, and then sometimes you can turn it on, you can turn it off. But I feel like with artists now, there's a pressure to keep it on all the time. And I'm kind of old school. I like my privacy. So.
Right. I still do struggle with that, like opening up to the internet and like being solely who I am on the internet. Like it's certain things that I'll try to keep off of the internet, but I realize that like the internet is so toxic right now that people want to see the good, the bad, the ugly, because all publicity is supposed to be good publicity. So whatever it is, they're gonna take it and run with it regardless. But I am working on trying to open myself completely up to the social media world. I'm still working on that.
Oh, okay. Nah, because I just feel like, I'm not gonna say any artist's name, but it was amazing to see this guy just in literally like 2 weeks just kill all the stuff he had created. You know what I mean? And somebody should have been in this corner like, hey, dude, like just sit down. Right. Yeah, exactly. And we all like to watch like Michael Jackson in the theater with popcorn just to watch things unfold. And I just feel like there should be like a internet social media like management, you know what I mean? Like you said, people believe all publicity is good publicity.
Something like, take it easy.
Yeah. So again, thank you for taking time to share with us your story and the story behind your single. What can we expect for 2023 for Jess Marie?
What to expect is just me like going harder with my work ethic, just putting out stuff weekly. I'm definitely trying to drop at least a freestyle every week in between like releasing my singles and visuals. More content of just me being me. And the more and more that I grow, hopefully it'll be some future opportunities that will come around. So yeah, I don't want to talk too much on what to expect in the year of 2023, because I'm just gonna let God give me direction and I'm just gonna follow his footsteps.
Oh yeah. And I just feel like after COVID, we're like, what's next? You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly.
I just feel like
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Okay. And then I want to ask too, like, there's listeners, we have listeners all over the world. Somebody is listening to this podcast and they're like, wow, I like Jess Marie. I want to be just like her. I want to be an MC. I want to be, a triple threat. I want to be an entrepreneur. What advice would you give somebody looking to follow in your shoes?
Just don't be afraid to go for it. Don't be afraid to follow your dreams. It's gonna be times where things are gonna feel so uncomfortable that it feels wrong, but we all know that when things get uncomfortable, there's a breakthrough coming. So I would just say, don't give up, whatever it is that you want to do.
And then second to last question, shameless promotion. Where can people find out about you, your website, your social medias? Shameless promotion time.
So be sure you guys follow me on Instagram. It's I'm Jess Marie. I am as in Mary, JESSMARIE. My name is the same on TikTok. Facebook is just Jess Marie. My YouTube channel is Jess Marie Official. So those are all of my social media handles. I drop everything on every platform too.
Okay. You guys check it out. Check out the freestyles. And then my last question is, what does music mean to Jess Marie?
Music means a lot to me. It's a coping mechanism. I go through things, and creating music helps me like push forward, helps me get through it. So it's everything to me.
No doubt. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it again. Raleigh, North Carolina, repping to the fullest. Fashion, hair, music. Jess Marie, special guest on Deeper Than Music. I thank you for listening. And this is Furyus Marie signing off.
Okay.